All right, we need to bring in Mr. Luole Osaze Uzi, INEC Director for Voter Information and Education. He joins us on the phone this morning. Thank you for joining us today. Well, concerning this that the PDP has raised about the appointment of Amina Zakari, how does INEC consider those concerns?
Well, thank you, Chamberlain, for having me. It's a needless controversy, if I may say so. Basically, the text of the chairman's broadcast essay did talk about the role of the committee that will do that. It's basically an administrative committee. It's an ad hoc committee, a facility management committee, basically. Their role is to go to the International Conference Center, negotiate with the management about the use of the center for about 2-3 weeks for the period of the election, immediately prior to the election and immediately after the election, to ensure that all the facilities are working well, that the toilets are okay. There's a facility for a sick bay, and we get our medical personnel there in case anybody falls ill. To ensure that there's security, how do we protect the place? Don't forget, they say it's not collation committee. It is a collation center committee. So basically, they're in charge of the physical structure. It's an administrative committee, not a process committee. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, by virtue of the Constitution and the Electoral Act, is the returning officer of the country for the presidential election. It is he who decides the validity of votes and any issues dealing with the process, both as the chief returning officer, the chief electoral commissioner, and the chairman of INEC. So that's a 3-point rule there. So in one sense, it's him. Amina Zakari's committee, of which I'm a member, she's there because she is the one in charge of welfare. She was also importantly involved in the 2015 in negotiating with the ICC management, ensuring that the place was suitable for the purpose. The media center will be established. So because of that, I am a member of that committee. They sit and work to get the facility ready. The commissioner in charge and the director in charge is a member of that committee. So basically, relevant members, because their departments have a thing to do with the center, Fiscal Management Center, are members of that committee. She has no role whatsoever to deal with the process of coalition. It's a coalition center. You can compare it to somebody who's been asked to renovate a building or prepare a building, make it suitable for habitation. That does not give the person or the committee a right over, an overlord right over that property. The person cannot dictate what happens inside the property. It's to prepare the facility for use of the commission as a coalition center. In the text, the chairman also said that all 73 political parties sponsoring candidates for the election have access to that committee, that coalition center. So the distinction has to be drawn between a coalition committee and a coalition center, which is a physical structure.
At the moment, that means that INEC is not considering doing anything in terms of removing her from that position as a result of this concern that the PDP has raised.
Removing her from preparing the facility as the chairman of a committee to prepare the facility? That's not an issue. It's a needless controversy. That's not an issue at all. The fact that when you establish a studio in Abuja, you send a committee for you to prepare the place ready for your occupation. That doesn't mean the person's in charge of the studio. Is in charge of preparing the facility, will not be in charge of all the broadcasts, all the things that are said in that studio. Basically, that's a simple comparison I can draw from it.
All right, so
it's not the only member of that committee. She's just one out of about 13 of us. I am a member.
So still talking about the process, part of the issues that some of the CSOs and CBOs also raised is that they'd like to see INEC allow them into the situation room so that in further demonstration of the transparency of the process. Is INEC considering this?
I'm not too sure that is under consideration because also there are certain things that have to be done. International observers, domestic observers who are accredited, for example, will part of the collation center. They will have access to the collation center. But there are certain things that must remain confidential. I, for example, don't attend meetings of the commission. People should be free to express their views. There's certain things must be done in confidentiality. When cabinets at that state or whatever level meets, they do so confidentially, and then they tell the public what decisions they have reached. You should allow for free very robust discussions based on beliefs and perceptions and what they know. So I don't think that will be an issue for now. I'm not aware that is being considered. I don't think it's necessary.
Okay,
all other processes, leading from it's like opening, say, tell us where you're printing your sensitive materials for ballot papers resources. No, there's certain things that must remain confidential. But they're allowed to see the movement to the vault of the central bank, from central bank to our offices, from the offices to the polling units. All that is open to all accredited observers, all accredited media.
One more thing, the role or INEC's role in how security is deployed for these elections. They've also raised concerns about that. Is there any new initiative or new measures that INEC is going to take about that, where the security can be, how they can be deployed?
For me to answer that, you have to tell me what are those concerns raised?
In terms of seeing policemen or security persons directly either in the situation room, near the ballot box, or near the voting centers, not maintaining that distance?
First of all, security personnel are not in our situation room. It is limited to only relevant INEC staff. They may offer protection in the perimeters of the wherever I was in the user situation room, but they are not inside the situation room. Let me establish that. But the role of the security, quite honestly, the 2015 amendment placed the deployment of security in the hands of the INEC chairman on election before electoral duties. But you know, there's this interagency committee between INEC, and that will meet next week again, for example. What are the deployment of security personnel? So yes, we do have a say in how they are deployed, and certainly will maintain that they will not be directly involved in the process. Their role is limited, and we press this on them. It's limited to keeping security, their constitutional and legal role to keep security, to ensure that security is maintained in and around the perimeters of the voting point, and to ensure that there is some sense of security when people come out to vote. The challenge is balancing between whether they are coming in large numbers so that people are scared to come out, or whether they are intimidating people. They must at all times remain professional. That has been impressed upon them at all times.
All right, because I do remember some of the concerns the last time during Osun elections was preventing people from going to vote. But now you say all that is sorted. We appreciate your talking to us this morning. Thank you.